Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Virginia, to the Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip, the track that is going to put on a great show here once again for the North-South Racing League's Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Division. Alongside me, my good friend Kelly Dahl. And Kelly, we are at Martinsville. They're going to hand out a grandfather clock here a little bit later tonight, but over 24 cars have signed in to the Martinsville Speedway for another great night of racing.
Yeah, here at the paperclip down in Martinsville, and it should be a good night of racing like you were talking about. It should be a nice, tight, action-packed race, and I think we're going to get a little bumping and banging. I mean, last week we didn't expect to go green flag to checkered, but somehow we did. I don't think we're going to be quite so lucky here at Martinsville, though.
Definitely not. This track of, let's just face it, these drivers, they know it's on the line. We're just closing in just past the halfway point of the season, so that everybody's trying to claw for those championship points. And we'll take a look at those just in a moment, but we want to thank you all for tuning on in to the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Division. And Renu Sealcoating been protecting and maintaining southern Wisconsin driveways, parking lots, and playgrounds for over 20 years. With over 75 years of combined asphalt expertise, they treat every customer like your family and stand by their work every time. Whether it's your home driveway or a mega store parking lot, Renu Sealcoating has you covered. Give them a call today at 608-576-7897 or visit Renu Sealcoating for a quote today. Also like to thank Mad Plowing for being a proud sponsor of the 2025 season. And Mad Plowing, serving the Oregon-Wisconsin area, specializing in snow removal and the mowing services during the summertime. Whether it's clearing your driveway or keeping your lawn looking pristine, they can make it happen. You can give them a call at 608-217-3528. That's Mad Plowing. RC2 Graphic Solutions, the proud sponsor of the 2025 season as well. And RC2 Graphic Solutions is your go-to source for professional graphic design specializing in the racing industry. From season schedules, event flyers, to winter graphics and social media content, they deliver high-quality designs to make your league or event stand out. Need custom graphics? Contact them today at RC2 Graphic Solutions at gmail.com or visit them on Facebook at facebook.com/RC2 Graphic Solutions. RC2 Graphic Solutions, your events, our designs. Wizards Design, the proud sponsor and the trophy maker for the NSRL for over 2 seasons now. They have made the championship design, and they can make your design into reality as they work with LEDs crafted with vibrant acrylics and wood. Wizard Designs is where creativity meets craftsmanship. You can check them out at Facebook at facebook.com/Witco23. That's WITKO23, or reach out to David Witkowski at yahoo.com. And Austin Designs, proud sponsor of our Choose Cone. And Austin Designs can make your next wrap on the racetrack come to life. Were you in the market for a new paint job? Well, reach out to Scott Austin. And Zoofab Garage, proud sponsor of our post-race show a little bit later. And whether you need a little regular maintenance or you want to hop up your street car, your race car, bring it on over to the Zoofab Garage and meet with Dustin, and he can make your project a reality. You get your on-track and street performance upgrade today. And in a couple weeks, we have our Kendall Hacker Memorial that'll happen at the Oxford Plains Speedway. You can donate to the cause as it will benefit families in need after a tragic loss in the Hacker family as their daughter passed away unexpectedly. So Kendall Hacker Memorial coming up in just a few weeks. You can reach out to NSRL to find out more information on how you can get involved and donate today. And just like that, we'll take a look at our points coming in here tonight. Well, info for tonight. Race number 7 of 15, Kelly. So some would say tonight's the halfway point. Some would say next week's the halfway point. But a half mile here in Ridgeway, Virginia, 125 laps. They have one extra set in there. And, well, track record belongs to Ryan Jones with a 19.698 as we get ready to go into Mad Plowing qualifying as we take a look here as the cars start to roll out onto the speedway.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be breaking that track record here tonight. Sure, the times are about 0.2 slower a lap so far in practice. So even though it is dark out, it looks like the track is still carrying a little bit of heat, not quite carrying enough speed. But we got a few drivers out there on the racetrack right now. I think Scott Negus and Dan Jan will be the first ones coming across the line to put up their first times of the night. And Dan Jan is going to take that provisional pole for now with a 20.035.
And he gets right there in the spot number 2. Now Jeff Bergner into the number 2 spot with a 20.06. So 20.05. Now Austin Williams jumping to the top in car number 85. Negus a little bit faster with a 1991 as he is the closest one to there. But 0.3 off the track record so far here in Mad Plowing fast time qualifying here this evening.
One of our championship contenders, Randy Nichols, is going to be sitting in second for the time being on 19.918. Remember, these guys are mainly going for the top 8. You do get a bonus point for getting the fast time award, but the top 8 to get into the redraw is your main goal for these guys. So we still have a number of drivers out on the racetrack. A few drivers just finishing their laps. Now we got Chad McLeod going to be moving up into third place in the 19.928. Currently, the cutoff for the redraw is Austin Williams sitting there with that 20.057.
Hit 20 flat right now, going to get you in there. Some heavy hitters still to come out onto the racetrack. One up on the racetrack right now. That's the driver of the 91 car, Adam Gable, working through turns 3 and 4 to put lap number 1 into the books. And wasn't right down on that curb where you normally would see, but lap number 1 for Gable going to be 15th quick, so maybe just getting some heat in those tires for lap number 2. We'll find out how he will look as he works down here between turns 3 and 4 down on the curb, this time up off the corner. And Gable going to come across the line for lap number 2, and he will go 8th quick. So now a 20 flat is Justin McDuff in the 20 car has jumped inside the top 8. Dante Curtis back with us here tonight. He jumps into the 6th spot. And with just a handful of drivers left, one car coming out onto the racetrack right now, the number 89, the Zufab Garage entry of Dustin Shepard. And Shepard missing last week at the Oswego Speedway. Is now Scott Austin will jump into the top 5. Remember last week's winner, Guillaume Fortin, will have to start tail the field due to the NSRL shotgun rule. What a tough track to have to start tail, huh, Kelly?
Yeah, definitely a tough one. But he is going to try to put down a time, try to get himself that extra bonus point, because every point is going to matter with how tight our top 3 are at this time. And he's going to come across. The first lap is a slow lap like we've been seeing a lot of drivers do, but he's coming around for his second here. Also have Dustin Shepard out on track trying to put down his second flyer. Brian Hacker as well just put down his first little get up to speed lap. But Guillaume Fortin now coming across the line. Where is he going to be? And that's top of the board for Guillaume Fortin, 19.858.
So Guillaume Fortin going to take quick time so far in Mad Time Plowing qualifying. Brian Hacker across the line for lap number 2. He's good enough for third quick with a 19.90. Last driver coming off of turn number 2 down the backstretch, working his second lap. That is a driver of the number 90 and one of our fast time qualifiers this season. Dylan Connor will work off turn number 4, come to the line, and Connor is going to go top of the board, quick time with a 19.81, 19.81, and Dylan Connor going to grab the Mad Plowing Fast Time Award here in qualifying.
Yeah, this is our 7th race of the season, and Dylan Connor has gotten 4 Fast Time Awards. There's only been 3 drivers total that have gotten Fast Time Awards. Brian Hacker's got himself a pair of them. Dustin Shepard's got one, and now Dylan Connor doubling up the second driver there with 4 of his own.
Well, just like that, we head into the warm-up period, and that means it is time for the RC2 Graphic Solutions weekly redraw where your top 8 drivers in qualifying will make their way to the stage in front of a packed house here at Martinsville Speedway as everyone getting up, stretching their legs real quick, maybe grabbing one of those famous hot dogs. How many up to tonight, Kelly?
Oh, I wish. That would be amazing right now. It sounds... I've never been to Martinsville, so I can't say how good their hot dogs are in person, but every picture I've seen and all the stories I've heard, they sound amazing.
They are good. I will tell you that. So the drivers are starting to populate into the waiting room, it looks like, as we will get ready to go with our RC2 graphic solution. Remember, RC2 Graphics is your one-stop shop for every graphic that you could need for your event, racing league, or real-world life racing. RC2 Graphic Solutions, your events, our designs, as we get ready to go with that. And just like that, Kelly will start to get their drivers into the booth, and we'll see. We'll pull up a man with, well, no stranger to being fast time in qualifying. Dylan Connor picking up, I believe this is number 4 on the season for your fast time award. Congratulations on being the Mad Plowing fast time driver here in qualifying. How you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm looking to try to turn my luck around from last week. I was not expecting that race to go all green flag laps, but it's the way it played out.
Yeah, last week Oswego. Now we come to another difficult racetrack. What about Martinsville is so difficult for you drivers?
I think it's braking points. I think it changes. I think braking points change throughout the race. The more heat you get in the brakes, the more heat you get in the tires. You just constantly have to adjust to that. And I think that's just going to play a big factor later on in the race.
All right, sir. Well, you know the drill here. You got 1 through 8 to choose from. Which number are you going to try here tonight here for the Mad Plowing Blue Ridge 125?
I'm going to try number 3 tonight.
Number 3 going to come off the board, and number 3 is going to be outside pole for Dylan Connor. So, good or bad?
It's not bad. I take the track position for sure. I would have liked the bottom, but that track position helps. So try to get down in as quick as I can and get in the best hole.
All right, well, the best of luck to you tonight, Dylan. Going to start P number 2 here tonight. Keep an eye on this number 90. All right, next up on to the grid, or to talk to us, to be the driver of the Blue Oval Racing car, number 55, Mr. Scott Negus.
Yeah, here now with Scott. And Scott, Martinsville's got a bit of a reputation. Do you think it's going to live up to that reputation here tonight with this league?
Oh, yeah. There's no question.
All right, well, number 3 has already been taken. What number would you like here tonight? The poll is still
Let's
out
go
there.
with number 7, please.
Number 7. All right, that means you are going to be starting in 4th place. So, unfortunately, that is the outside line. Do you think that's going to be a bit of a damper to the start of your night?
Yeah, I'll have to try really hard to not lose too many spots anyway.
All right, well, hopefully you can find the bottom very quick and maybe work your way up towards the front, maybe cut around the driver that is starting to your front there on the outside pole. So good luck to you there tonight, Scott.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, so Scott Negus will be starting in 4th place, and once again, another driver to the outside lane.
To the outside lane being being chosen so far. Now we reach down to the driver that leads the points into Martinsville, Mr. Brian Hacker. And Brian, we're at Martinsville, a little short track. Do you like this one a little bit better than Oswego?
Definitely better than Oswego. Still not my favorite, but it's better than Oswego.
All right, so numbers 3 and number 7 are off the board. The poll is still out there. Which number would you like out of the hat here tonight?
Let's split the difference and go 5.
Number 5. Coming off the board, and number 5 is going to be outside row number 4, P number 8. So still inside of the RC2 Graphic Solutions redraw, but P number 8 here. What feelings on that? A long race, 125 laps in front of you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be methodical tonight. Not where we want to start, but I missed my qualifying lap anyway, so That's what we get. We deserve it.
All right, well, best of luck, and hopefully we'll be talking to you here a little bit later here tonight.
Think so.
All right, Brian Hacker going to roll off P number 8, Kelly.
Yeah, all the way back for Brian Hacker, and still not as far as his championship rival, Guillaume Fortin. Going to be starting all the way at the tail end of the field, but let's keep moving along where you get the other championship rival, and that is the driver, the number 69, Randy Nichols. Randy, are you expecting a little bit of fireworks here tonight?
I think it's going to be interesting.
Well, a race at Martinsville is always going to be interesting. It's always going to be a fight for that inside line, but where do you want to start here tonight? Let's see. We've got numbers 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. What would you like?
Let's go with 6.
Number 6, and you will be starting just alongside your championship contender. However, that is going to be back in P number 7. So a little bit further back in the field, but does starting on the inside line give you a little bit of consolation?
It makes me feel a little bit better, but you're going to be kind of trapped alongside the curb and the wall there if anything does happen in front of you. So it'll be interesting.
All right, well, good luck to you, Randy. Let's see if you can maybe turn that P7 starting spot into a P1 finishing.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, so Randy Nichols is going to line up alongside his championship rival, Brian Hacker.
Daddy will roll off in P number 5 is now we talked to Mr. Chad McLeod, the driver of the Renu Sealcoating 93. And Chad, welcome once again to the RC2 Graphic Solutions redraw. How's the car feeling tonight?
It's feeling pretty good tonight.
Well, we look forward to seeing what this 93 can do. A beautiful looking race car. I'm a very simplest when it comes to race cars, and your car is very eye-catching to me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm the same way. Less is more.
Exactly. I believe it. Hey, I got some good news for you. The poll is still out there. Numbers left to choose from are 1, 2, 4, and 8. What number would you like here tonight in the RC2 Graphic Solutions redraw?
Let's take number 8.
Number 8 going to come off the board, and that is going to be P number 3 for Chad McLeod. And starting on the inside, row number 2, it's probably a good starting spot for tonight's 125.
I will definitely take that. That outside, I think, is going to be kind of rough tonight.
All right. Well, we look forward to talking to you. Hopefully, we talk to you at the end of this one. Best of luck here tonight, Chad, and we'll keep an eye on this 93 car tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right. There's Chad McLeod, driver of the Renu Sealcoating 93. Kelly, he's going to start P number 3. That pole position still out there. Just a handful of less than 3 drivers left to choose.
Yeah, we're going to move along to our next driver here, which I believe is going to be Philip Martin. And Philip, so good. I got a lot of good news for you. Despite the fact that you're picking a little later, we've got 2 spots on the inside row available, only 1 on the outside, and the pole is still available. How you liking your odds?
I'm probably going to get stuck with the outside.
All right, well, let's see what you get. 1, 2, or 4 is your options.
We'll go 4.
You'll go 4. All right, well, you said you were going to be starting on the outside. You're wrong about that, and you are going to be starting on the pole.
Oh, man. All right, cool.
Well, are you going to be nervous about having all those drivers right behind you charging into turn 1?
Nah, I think we'll be okay. We'll just try and sort it out and see where we fall.
Well, hopefully you can hold that inside line and maybe turn that pole into a win here tonight. Good luck to you, Philip.
Thanks, good.
So Philip Martin claims the pole here tonight.
The pole being taken by Philip Martin. Now we got to find out the last 2 starting spots in this driver consistently inside the RC2 Graphic Solution redraw. Mr. Braden Campbell making the redraw once again this evening. 1 spot on the outside, 1 spot on the inside left. If you were a choosing man, which lane would you like to be in?
I prefer the inside here. I think the outside's going to be brutal tonight.
Everyone keeps telling us that. I'm gonna believe you guys. That's at the end of the day, I'm believing you. So we have 1 or 2 to choose from. Those are the 2 numbers left. Which number would you like?
Let's go with number 2.
Number 2 coming off the board, and that is going to be the final inside spot, and it's going to be P number 5. So inside row number 3. thoughts on at least starting inside the top 5?
Hey, we'll take it. We just got to hit our marks and hopefully be there at the end.
We wish you the best of luck here tonight. We'll keep an eye on this 33 car throughout the evening. Put on a good show for us.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Braden Campbell going to start P number 5. That leaves a driver that's kind of just part-time this season, Kelly, but we're glad to have him along with us, Mr. Dante Curtis, and I believe you got him right now.
Yeah, here with Dante Curtis making one of his limited starts here tonight. And was there a reason why you maybe picked Martinsville out of all the races to make?
Just thought it'd be a little bit of a fun one. Last time I run here, I run good, so I thought maybe I could do it again. So, game plan. Let's see, where do I start?
Well, yeah, the announcement was just put out here before we kind of told you here, but you will be starting in 6th place here tonight. Unfortunately, the outside line, but you think you can find the bottom quick?
We'll roll the top. We'll be fine.
We'll roll the top. All right.
Yeah, we can make it work.
I think that is the ballsiest statement we have heard tonight, is that you're going to roll the top and make it work at Martinsville. Well, Dante, I hope the best for you because I want to see that.
Yeah, just watch out. We'll make it work.
All right. Well, watch for Dante Curtis on the outside line, starting all the way back in P6, but it sounds like he's going to try to charge to the front.
Yep.
Good luck to you, Dante.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so Dante Curtis starting in 6th, and he's saying he's going to stay on the high side. Well, let's see if he is going to keep his word here.
That would be something to see, as that was your RC2 Graphic Solutions redraw. And Kelly, before we get ready to start this feature, let's take a look at the current point standings headed into tonight as we wrap up our RC2 Promotions redraw. And Brian Hacker, top of the heap after Oswego. Guillaume Fortin, though, took a couple points off that, but remember, he'll have to start a little bit deeper in tonight's field. Hill is only 9 points behind. Randy Nichols, Scott Negus, and Matt Hackathorn now inside the top 5.
Yeah, Guillaume Fortin pretty much getting the worst track you can get to have to start from the back. He's going to be starting all the way back in either 24th or 25th, depending on where iRacing slots him, along with Dan Janjanin, who was also getting sent to the back. So it is going to be tough. It's going to be a long night for him, but I think if any driver can do it, it's the driver that 13 QC.
Absolutely. Gonna keep an eye on how he will roll off 25th here tonight. But this is the Mad Plowing Blue Rage 125 coming to you live from Martinsville here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We thank you all for tuning on in, and this is your starting lineup. Your first 6 rows will look like this. Dylan Connor will start, well, not Dylan Connor, as they did the redraw here, as Philip Martin will start on the pole. Outside of him will be Dylan Connor in car number 90. Chad McLeod in the 93 will roll off third. Outside of him, the driver out of Canada, the Blue Oval Racing, car number 55. This is Scott Negus. Braden Campbell and Dante Curtis will make up row number 3 and 5 and 6. 7th and 8th starting spot will be Randy Nichols and Brian Hacker. Dustin Shepard will roll off in the 10th spot. Jeff Bergner 11th, and Scott Austin rounding out your top 12.
And then they'll be followed by Justin McDuff. He'll be rolling off in 13th. Adam Gable in the 91 will be in 14th. Austin Williams rolls off on the inside of row 8 with a 12 of Rodney Huntoon to his outside. Then we have Travis Heffler going to be rolling off back in 17th with Matt Hackathorn to his outside. Dan Janjanin gets sent to the back of the field, so it'll be Rob Donaldson then. Then Jeff Mathis, who has not made the call to the grid. Then we have Amos Odegaard will be starting back in 22nd. Josh Cole, followed by Shane Loveridge and Robbie Clavey.
25 drivers strong here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway for what is going to be a great night of racing. Presented by Mad Plowing. The Mad Plowing Fast Time Award going to Dylan Connor, as he set the fast time a little bit earlier in fast time qualifying. Well, Kelly, time to pull those belts tight one more time. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and let these drivers know you appreciate their efforts. That is not for me. It might be for Kelly, but definitely not for me, as we get ready to go green flag racing into the Renu Sealcoating start zone. And they will lay the rubber down on the concrete. Green flag is up, and we are underway.
Yeah, Dylan Connor fighting on that outside line, trying to hold off against Philip Martin. Martin, he's got that preferred lane. However, Connor got a good launch on the outside there. He's almost going to get cleared down to the turn 3. He's going to try to sail it off on the high side, but with no banking to help him, he's got to check it up, and that's going to allow Philip Martin to get in a little bit more, but still a lot of speed on the high side, and Connor is going to be able to send it through. He's going to lean on that right front, but he's going to take the race lead as cars battle for position behind. Scott Negus is able to get into third spot all on his own. Dante Curtis keeping to be a man of his word. He's still hanging on the outside, and he's moving himself up. He's up to 4th place, and he is battling alongside Chad McLeod.
Yeah, McLeod working the inside of the speedway. And remember, Dante Curtis said he was going to try to make the outside work in a black ghost car. The Toyota Camry rolling now will settle into the 5th spot. Right behind him, Brian Hacker working around the 35 of Braden Campbell and Randy Nichols right there as well. Brian Hacker going to get down to the inside. And you saw Campbell have to get on those brake pedals really hard, and that allowed the 69 of Nichols to get around the outside of him as they work through here turns 3 and 4. And it looks like maybe Campbell going to be able to hold off the 69 of Nichols. And Kelly, early on in this race, I think you're going to see everybody try to be peas and quiet. So as I say that, Dante Curtis jumps out of line. He'll sling to the inside underneath McLeod. McLeod up the racetrack. That opens the inside lane for Brian Hacker. McLeod's going to lose 2 positions off of turn number 4.
Yeah, it looks like McLeod just came off of turn 4 a little high. I don't know what happened with his line, but it opened the door for Dante Curtis, who immediately stuck his foot in, got himself through up into 4th place, and now he's trying to chase down those lead 3. Braden Campbell shuffled out of line, and that is going to be a huge problem for him, as now he's got the 21 of Jeff Bergener to his inside. And now Scott Austin's going to be there as well. He might get freight trained on the outside.
Yeah, the locomotive is lined up to the inside here. Campbell trying to fight back, but the Austin Designs number 5 working to the inside. He's got Dustin Shepard right there as well, along with the unsponsored number 20 of Justin McDuff, who's on a part-time schedule this season. Glad to see McDuff out onto the racetrack as well, as this battle still rages on. Is now Campbell almost clear of Shepard. Shepard throws it in deep in the turn number 3. Keeps it down on the inside. Campbell going to lose another position, moving Dustin Shepard in the P number 10.
And I don't know if he's going to be able to find the spot. There is going to be a gap that's going to open just in front of Justin McDuff, so that's going to allow Braden Campbell back down. He's taking a peek to the inside of Dustin Shepard, but there is nothing there for him. Everyone looking like they're single file throughout the field. Don't believe anyone has been stuck on the high side just yet. Looks like, though, the 00 of Rob Donaldson. He's taking a peek to the inside. He's going to send it up the inside, and it's not going to work. He's going to get into the door of Amos Odegaard. That's going to send Donaldson sideways. He somehow recovers the car. Everyone has to scramble. Oh, big checkup, and that's going to spin. I think that was the 73 of Robbie Clavey around, and somehow we stay green.
Yeah, Clavey in the RC2 graphic solution able to hold on to it and working his way all the way through that. Was last week's winner, the 13 of Guillaume Fortin, and Fortin now going to look to the inside of Cole in the turn number 3. Cole running that higher to middle lane, able to keep the momentum up. And as these tires wear out and as heat gets into that bottom lane, I think, Kelly, the longer we go, the more likelihood we might be able to see 2 lanes of action here. As I say that, here comes Fortin to the inside. This is the battle for P number 19.
See, I don't know. I think Josh Cole was just leaning hard on that right front to try to hang on to the position, and then he wasn't able to keep the car down off of the next corner, and that just allowed an opportunity for Guillaume to get in. That high line just not quite coming in just yet, and I mean, this track basically has no banking whatsoever. It is as flat as you can be, so these drivers are really going to have to battle for position, but Guillaume, he's got himself up into 20th. Still a long ways to go to catch up to his championship rivals.
Yeah, Brian Hacker now onto the backside of Dante Curtis. He has got the anchor out there hooked onto the back bumper, trying to follow him around here as you ride inside of the top 5, and then it looks like Dylan Connor, your race leader, over Philip Martin. Scott Negus, Dante Curtis, and Brian Hacker, your top 5. 6th spot is Randy Nichols, Jeff Bergner, and the Chrome car going to sit in 7th. Scott Austin, 8th. Dustin Shepard and Chad McLeod, your top 10. A little bit deeper there is Braden Campbell in P11. And he has kind of found a home right there between the two white cars of McLeod and McDuff, and really nobody really pressuring each other. Long ways to go, closing in on the 1/5 mark here just in a few short laps.
Yeah, everyone just saving their tires at the moment, trying to extend this for a long run. We saw last week that it came down to whoever could save their tires the most, and I'm sure a lot of people aren't expecting a full green flag run here at Martinsville, but I mean, if we could get one last week at Oswego, it's still a possibility we could get one here at Martinsville. So it's something these drivers are keeping in mind. It looks like they're running a lot more conservatively here tonight.
Yeah, you got to remember, though, that taking as we go on board the Renu Sealcoating onboard camera with Braden Campbell, at some point, someone's patience is going to run out, especially if the leaders start catching the backside of the field. Everybody wants to stay on the lead lap here. But how about this, Kelly? Isn't it great to see Martinsville absolutely sold out here for the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Tour? These people down here in Virginia absolutely love their short track racing.
Yeah, and we got some good short track racing going on now. For 3rd place, Dante Curtis has gotten himself to the inside of the 55 car of Scott Negus, and they have been battling these last few laps here. Negus trying to hang it on that high side. Dante really kind of threw it in on the bottom a few laps ago to establish himself there, and now you've got Brian Hacker, who is just looking for an opportunity, wanting these guys to sort things out quickly, because here comes the 3rd place in the standings, Randy Nichols. He's gotten himself right up to the bumper of that 2 machine.
And you got to wonder right now, is that outside lane maybe able to hold off him, but Brian Hacker's kind of blocked in right there. Negus a little bit better on the corner exit, but Dante Curtis rolling the bottom really, really well. And as we said, Nichols takes a look to the inside of Brian Hacker. A good 4-car battle in the turns 1 and 2, as they are 2 by 2, just like they were on the pace laps. Move Curtis into 3rd for the time being, but Negus has not quite yet. A little bit of contact in the turn number 3.
Yeah, it looked like Curtis wanted to set Negus up to go a little bit high through that corner, and it's going to work. He hasn't gotten himself clear just yet. That 55 car still hanging tough, but the 03 of Curtis is going to finally get himself clear. Oh, Negus into the wall off of turn 2, and that's going to cost him the spot to Brian Hacker, and now Randy Nichols is to the inside.
Yeah, that was a very, very big hit there. You got to wonder about the toe on the race car. You can see the right front damage on the tilt load number 55 as Nichols will work on buying the Cintas number 69 automobile. This is the battle side by side as Connor starting to open it up over Philip Martin, who has about a 1-second gap back to this battle that we were watching between Curtis, Hacker, and now Nichols into the top 5 for the first time this evening.
Yeah, Scott was able to find the bottom before Jeff Bergener was able to get there, so he is going to hang on to 6th place for now. So still an opportunity to recover. It looks like a bit of a battle starting to shape up behind them as Dustin Shepard is going after Scott Austin, really harassing him through the corner here. Now he's going to try to send it up the inside, not going to be there. 5's going to close the door, going to give a little opportunity, though, for the 89 of Shepard coming off of turn 2. Is he going to dive again? Not that time. The 5 car immediately slides down to the bottom, going to cut him off. But I don't think this is over just yet. Dustin Shepard prepping for another move now. Scott Austin just has to try to hit his marks, open up that gap as Shepard now coming hard off the corner and nearly slid up into the wall.
Yeah, Shepard really had to mind his P's and Q's there as the door was slammed on his front bumper. This time a lot better launch off the corner. He's going to look to the inside. He's got position, but Austin going to try to slam the door shut. Has to concede. Move Dustin Shepard in the P number 8, but Austin says not quite yet. They are side by side in the turn number 3. Austin battling back, and they are really leaning on each other up off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch. Shepard by a half a car in that Zoofab Garage 89 as he's working his way towards the front. And Shepard moving is Clavey into the outside wall once again, it looked like, as the race leaders start to work their way through. You got to really you're starting to see those marbles build up on the outside of the corners in these lap cars that get up in them. It's going to be like driving on ice there. Look at the marble build up just 30 laps into this one.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse until we get a caution and get the sweeper out there to dust those all off. But Robbie Clavey going to do a little bit of dusting of his own as he has to sit way up high to allow this field through. He is nursing a bit of a damaged car after an incident earlier on that did not bring out a caution. And just behind him, a little bit of battling going on. Guillaume Fortin nearly getting caught there as they went 3 wide for a moment between Fortin and Hackathorn. I think, actually no, it was the 85 of Austin Williams who has actually lost a couple of spots here on this last lap as Rodney Huntoon was able to get by. Now Guillaume Fortin as well.
Yeah, they're starting to move their way up. Remember, Fortin had to start back in P number 25 here this evening. He's up 10 spots here, all green flag laps so far. And he's got a long road to hoe as he sits there inside the top 15. Now, next car up will be Rodney Huntoon and Adam Gable as they close in on the top 10. But up front, it is still Dylan Connor, Philip Martin, and Dante Curtis, your top 3 here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, and these drivers do have one set of tires in the pits as Dante Curtis gets a bad launch off of turn 2, and that's going to allow the 2 car of Brian Hacker to get himself to the inside going through 3 and 4. Looks like Randy Nichols is going to follow along here to try to look for his opportunity to maybe follow the winner of this battle through, and it's looking like it's going to be Brian Hacker as Hacker gets through, and now Nichols as well. Dante Curtis really struggling off of turn 2 now.
It really had to check up there. Maybe getting up in those marbles, get sets back, says, but you know, you got to really wonder though, Dante Curtis, one of those wily old veterans of the short track ranks, running a limited time schedule here on Monday nights with us, but maybe didn't like the pace that he was being forced to run. Said, all right, go ahead, boys. Long ways to go. Still over 90 laps left to go here as we get our first Wizards Designs yellow flag. As Josh Cole has gone around off turn number 2, and Rob Donitson was involved with that as well. So that'll bring out our first yellow flag of the evening. Let's take a look back here. The truck says they got it. Let's take a look here and see what happened. Down in the corner, Cole working underneath the 73 of Clavey. Got loose, got to the wheel hop there. The car was a turkey walking. And around they go, and both cars coming to a stop off of turn number 2, Kelly. So this is a lazy slide for the 9 of Cole. Donitson nowhere to go.
Yeah, it looks like both of those cars should be fine. I don't think either one got the wall at all. Donaldson does have some damage to his front end, both on the right and left. He has not come down pit road to fix that, but I mean, it's Martinsville. You can turn your car into a modified basically here, and it probably will still run just great.
You're not wrong there, and the modifieds put on a great show here, by the way. Is they work really well here as the Wizards Designs yellow flag is out for the first time here this evening, and thank you to Wizards Designs for being a proud sponsor of that here this season. And like we said, if you are in the market for gaming designs or trophies of any sort, check out Wizard Designs, the proud sponsor of our yellow flag here in 2025. And nothing against them, but everybody going to get to take a breather right now, Kelly, as we are underneath that yellow flag here for the first time. Everybody going to take a deep breath, and they've learned a lot about their race cars here over the first 35 laps.
Yeah, I think we're coming to the choose cone this time, possibly. The Austin Designs choose cone. It's going to be on the front straight here tonight. And I'm sure a lot of those drivers are going to be trying to find that bottom side. But you could take the gamble, take the outside, take the track position, and hope for a hole to open up. As unsurprisingly, Dylan Connor will go to the bottom, and so will Philip Martin. Looks like the first driver to take the gamble on the high side is going to be Brian Hacker. There's a number of drivers also holding the bottom, and unsurprisingly, after saying early on tonight that he was going to make the outside line work, Dante Curtis takes second place on the outside. And then it's just a huge line of cars on the bottom. It isn't until Scott Austin, who is down in 9th place, who's going to jump, I think, 3 cars and move himself up into 6th.
Yeah, so interesting there. And look who else chose the outside there, the 13 of Guillaume Fortin. Saw how long the inside lane was. You know, not a bad call if it works out. If you can, for where Guillaume was here underneath these racing conditions, move 10 spots. That's a lot under green flag conditions, right? You know, here at Martinsville, but was not getting to the front like he was looking for. Now will find himself battling inside, just outside the top 10 on the outside, and his championship rivals are in front of him. Everyone's chasing Brian Hacker. He's got a 9-point lead headed in here. He's going to restart second as they go into the Renu Sealcoating, laying the seal down. Green flag is up. We are back underway.
Oh, early lane change from Dylan Connor. He's probably going to get busted for that later. I don't think he was across the start-finish line before he moved up to the high side. So this may be something that's going to be hanging over the head of the 90 car for the rest of the night. Brian Hacker, he was able to stay in second place as the big scramble in the back of the field. I think there was a car all the way on the inside. I think that was the 89 of Dustin Shepard who had gone over the curb.
Yeah, Shepard there in back to 12th here. As they work around him, Guillaume Fortin in the 10th right there is now the 89 working around the 2 of Dan Janjanin. And Janjanin having a great run here this evening in that number 2 car. Flirting with a top 10 run here. So he'll slide the rear tires in the turns 1 and 2. These tires got a second to take and cool off a little bit, but the yellow flag coming back out. The Wizards Designs yellow flag number 2 coming out for Jeff Mathis, who went around down in turn number 4. He's got the Nationwide Gray Ghost car pointed in the right direction. We'll see what happened to him as he was working there. Mathis currently runs in the 24th position. Working there with Donitsin, gets down into the corner numbers 3 and 4. Checked up for, Rodney Huntoon and Hackathorn had an issue right there in front of him. And Donitsin didn't realize that and just tags the backside of the Nationwide number 6.
Yeah, a bit of a stack up there for an unrelated incident that was in front of them. And like you said, it was the 12 of Huntoon, Hackathorn. I think Odegaard had also got involved in that. He may have a little bit of damage. Looks like there is some damage to the right front and the left rear. So these guys are banging their cars up, but that is not too surprising here. But Rob Donaldson is going to claim that caution, and he'll be moving to the back. Dan Janjan, like you said, he's moved himself up. He's sitting in 12th place after having to take that EOL at the start of the night, and he's pretty much been following along with Guillaume Fortin, who's only a couple spots ahead of him.
Yeah, and we're going to be interesting to see here now. Fortin into that 9th running spot after that restart as Jeff Bergner had gone down pit road. Rob Donitsin going to make it down pit road now. Here underneath the Wizards Design second yellow flag of the afternoon. They always did say cautions breed cautions.
And that is definitely a fitting saying for here at Martinsville, because it just gets everyone all bunched up, gets them double file again, and people are just essentially fighting to get themselves back to the bottom, and people check up, people get brake checked. As we come to the Scott Austin, or the Austin Designs choose cone here, as Brian Hacker will actually elect to take the inside this time, and that was surprising. He was able to make that outside work and was able to get himself hold on to second place, but now he's going to give an opportunity to Dante Curtis, who moves to the outside, and he's going to have one of his championship rivals in the 69 of Randy Nichols to his right side now.
And a very fast car on the outside of him is the 03 of Dante Curtis up on the front row now. Guillaume Fortin chose the inside lane. Kelly, he's going to find himself restarting back there in spot number 11, it looks like here. But you got that inside lane. The 7 of Travis Hoffler on the outside. Good to see Travis having a good run here this evening in the RC2 Graphic Solution number 7. It's been a good
choosing
race.
the inside. Choosing the inside actually cost Guillaume Fortin a couple of spots, as there was quite the line already on the inside. Dan Janjanin actually just jumped him by electing to take the outside, but let's see if these drivers' choices pay off. Pace car is down on pit road. Dylan Connor's going to leave the field through turn 4, and he's going to get on the throttle, and oh, not a good start for Dante Curtis, and once again, Dylan Connor sliding up a little early.
I'm not sure. I would have to check the rule book, but I think that might be okay, Kelly.
There's been a couple of drivers that have been caught for it earlier this year. They have to be on their line until they cross the start-finish line. Like, they can run kind of high, but it's when they start to cross over that other line is when the league administrators have been kind of throwing the yellow flag here.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait and see as, let me just call it, as we say, how is now Shepard working up underneath them. Shepard into the 7th position is the top 4 or 5 cars to get all single file. How about Scott Austin sitting there in P number 6 right in front of Dustin Shepard. So Austin having a typical night for himself, fast, working his way up through the field methodically, up 6 spots. Guillaume Fortin now works right there behind Justin McDuff, the driver out of Buffalo, New York. Runs there in the 9th spot. We saw Justin at Darlington a little bit earlier this season. Now he's starting to feel pressure from last week's winner of Guillaume Fortin.
Yeah, Guillaume still trying to move his way up. He's still got a ways to go after that restart. He is now sitting in 10th place. So he was able to gain 2 spots since the drop of the green flag, and now he is stuck behind Justin McDuff. And I'm sure he wants to move himself much further up this field, especially since Brian Hacker, his main championship rival, who is leading the points coming into tonight by just 9, he is up at the front there. And I believe it's after tonight, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Al, that the drop weeks start to get factored in and start getting shown on the results.
Yeah, after week number 7, which is tonight. And it's all hard to believe that tonight is the 7th race of the season as we watch the 72 is Shane Loveridge. And that's an interesting story, Kelly. We love to have Shane out on the racetrack with us, driving all the way from Australia. So I believe he takes his lunch break and able to race with us as he races from Australia. And he currently sits back there in the 17th spot. A lot of international flavor here at the NSRL.
Yeah, Brian Hacker is closing up tighter to the back end of Dylan Connor, and so same with behind them. Philip Martin is right on top of Dante Curtis, so we've got a couple of battles starting to shape up here in the top 5, as the top 5 has kind of formed a little bit of a breakaway over the rest of the field. There's about 0.7 of a second between Randy Nichols in 5th and Dustin Shepard in 6th. It's closing up that gap a little bit, though, as Justin McDuff gets shuffled out of line. Guillaume Fortin going to move himself up into 9th, so he continues his slow charge towards the front as we near the halfway point in this race.
You're closing in, like you just said, working lap 61. Just a few more laps here. And the hourglass will get swapped over as Brian Hacker kisses the outside Armco off of turn number 2. I don't think it's going to hurt the race car too bad. It's a little bit of a scrape there. Dante Curtis running in 3rd. He's feeling the pressure, though, from that green and black number 46. That is Philip Martin as they work down the backstretch. Martin going to choose to go in the outside, drives it in deep, trying to make something happen, and Dante Curtis kind of just lays over.
Yeah, it was working. He was able to sail it on that outside. I think Curtis may have some problems with his tires. It looks like he may be struggling there because not only has Philip Martin gotten through, Randy Nichols is starting to pressure on the outside line as well. That time, though, Curtis is able to hang on to the spot, and that is going to open an opportunity for Shepard. Shepard, though, going to have to slide back in behind the 69 of Randy Nichols as we are starting to bunch up our entire field here. However, Hacker and Connor are starting to run away from everyone else.
And they're starting to open up that gap as we still watch the battle between Randy Nichols and Dante Curtis on your screen. Right there behind them, Scott Negus starting to apply the pressure to Scott Austin as he's got the 13 car of Guillaume Fortin. Fortin going to roll the inside. He's going to take that spot away, move Fortin into the 8th spot. So Guillaume Fortin starting to roll there in Oppa Metal. Car number 13 QC. She has just gotten around Scott Negus there. Brian Hacker, though, applying the pressure to the race leader of Dylan Connor.
Yeah, you never know how the admins are going to rule it, so they're just going to have to fight as if nothing is going on. I did find the rule out, 1.4.6b. Drivers are expected to maintain their lane until after the start-finish line. So it will depend on what the admins say, but it is kind of hanging over Dylan Connor right now that he could lose 5 positions after this race, depending on what they saw, what the admins decide to that they've seen on these restarts, because they will review all of them.
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm glad I don't have to make that call.
It's the second one was a little iffy. I think the first one he was up at the wall before that start-finish line, so it may be what a call that they've made. It's a call that they've made earlier on. A precedent has been set, so we'll see what they say. But I think Brian Hacker is not going to care what they say. He wants that position during the race here. We are now into the second half of this race as we get closer into lap 70 here as they come off of turn 4. And Brian Hacker still just within 0.2 of a second of Dylan Connor. He's pretty much on top of him, and he's carrying a lot of speed and entry into that corner. And now he is right on the bumper of the 90 car.
And next week, the series will roll just south of here to the Hickory Motor Speedway. And what is going to be a fantastic race. We know, Kelly, you will not be here. But we hope you all tune in 1 week from tonight. As this one, Randy Nichols sells it in there. You saw Dante Curtis get sideways, as it will be our second showdown event of the season next Monday night from the Hickory Motor Speedway. Right now, Dylan Connor still leads over Brian Hacker. They've got this, and I tell you, Randy Nichols is all up the tailpipes of that 03 car. He'll take a look to the inside. Here comes Shepard. He took a bit to the inside. And Nichols, the meat and the sandwich between the DCD cars.
Yeah, Nichols kind of bumped Curtis coming off of turn 2, and it looked like it slowed up his drive off of the corner. That gave an opportunity for Shepard, but Nichols just threw a heavy block there. Did not want to give up the inside line to Dustin Shepard, so he ended up keeping the 89 car behind him for now. But just lurking behind them not too far, Guillaume Fortin, he's up into 7th place. He's gotten around Scott Austin a short time ago, so he is slowly getting closer and closer to the front end of this field.
And still plenty of time here, just over 50 laps to go in the Blue Ridge 125, presented by Mad Plowing here for the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Division. And everyone here enjoying a hot dog or two watching this series. They're rolling into Virginia here this evening. And I tell you now, Dustin Shepard all over the backside of Randy Nichols. And I tell you, the gloves are off. That the patience that we talked about earlier on, I think they're starting to wear thin.
Yeah, especially after throwing a block like that, it's kind of okay, you're going to race that way, we'll race that way, and the drivers may start getting into each other. Speaking of making contact, I think Brian Hacker just gave Dylan Connor a little shove off of turn 4 there, as Hacker looks like he's got the pace. He's just looking for an opportunity. He's trying to cross him up a little off of on the corner exit so he can maybe try to get to the inside of the 90 car, but he may be forced to try to do something else here to make that pass for the lead.
Yeah, he is right there, and he's got the 46 of Martin trying to be there. And I tell you, Dylan Connors had the speed all season long. Oh, Randy Nichols gets turned off of turn number 2. Yellow, yellow, yellow as Randy Nichols' car sat nose first into the inside wall off turn number 2. Him and Shepard were battling hard. We'll have to see what happened there as the Wizards design yellow flag will roll out here. It'll be interesting to see what some of these leaders do if they come down pit road. And it looks like they faked him out, but the 46 of Martin coming down, and he's going to bring a slew of other drivers down pit road. Remember, they do have one extra set of tires on pit road. Philip Martin, the first of our leaders to come down pit road here at the end of this one.
A large number of cars coming down pit road. Only 4 actually staying out. Dylan Connor, Brian Hacker, Dante Curtis, and Jeff Bergner have all elected to stay out. And Randy Nichols has immediately pulled the car behind the wall. He hit hard on that inside wall, straight to the nose. So that pretty much damaged that engine, most likely took him out of this race. And Dustin Shepard going to raise his hand, say that he got into him. So he's going to go all the way to the tail end of the field.
And Guillaume Fortin going to be their first driver off of pit road as that will take place. Let's take a look back here and see what happened to Randy Nichols. He got down in the turn 1 and 2, got a little bit high. Shepard down to the inside, got to the left rear quarter panel and just could not stay off of him in a hard contact for Randy Nichols. Let's look one more time as we go on board with the Renu Sealcoating onboard camera. And a very hard hit there for Randy Nichols, and a tough break for the driver out of Texas as he will start to pack up the hauler, and unfortunately for him, have to wait till this one is over before he can exit the speedway, as there is no tunnel here at Martinsville as they work down the front stretch to do the choose, and the top 2 cars are going to go to the inside, and then Dante Curtis, the first car, to the outside.
And we are going to have cars with fresh tires now. Look at Guillaume Fortin. That's a good call from him there, I think, staying on the outside line and try to maybe use those fresher tires. And I don't know about this call from the top 3 because, well, I guess top 4. Bergner did come down pit road earlier on tonight, so he may have taken his tires then. But a few other tracks we've seen this where they've taken the tires a little bit later and they've had to come through the field, but they've just had so much speed that they're able to do so. But Martinsville, even with fresh tires, it's hard to pass. There's not a lot of room, and it's harder to make the outside line work than at tracks where you've got a little banking that kind of help you carry the speed.
Absolutely, and this is going to be a big test right now. How much do new tires mean here at Martinsville for the Renu Sealcoating's late model stock, the Blue Ridge 125 presented by Mad Plowing? This is going to be a good tell here on whether or not these drivers that did not pit are going to be in a world of hurt. I think they've made their bed. They're going to lay in it as they head into the Renu Sealcoating restart zone off turn number 4. Green flag is up, and we are back underway.
And look at Guillaume. He is stuck right up the bumper of Dante Curtis, trying to push Curtis ahead so that Curtis can get down into the inside line, as Guillaume is going to try to battle on that high side as a 21 car of Bergner is going to be on the inside. Bergner's got a little bit fresher tires, it seems, so he is going to be able to hang on there. Guillaume is going to have to probably slot down before he loses the spot to Scott Austin. There was a gap, but he's not going to go for it, and he's actually going to sail it along the outside now that he's seen the high side open. The 3 of Dante Curtis has dropped down to the bottom, has been able to get himself into 3rd place, so this now leaves an opportunity for Guillaume to work the high side, but it is going to be hard on his tires. He is going to have to abuse them to make this work.
Yeah, he is working the outside of the speedway, trying to make something happen. And honestly, Kelly, it's, you know, those fresher tires probably good there for a few laps. As he's almost got Bergner cleared. A little bit of contact off turn number 4 into turns 1 and 2. And Guillaume Fortin into that 4th spot. And he is the first driver with fresher tires right there. Scott Negus taking a look underneath Adam Gable. Gable made contact with the outside retaining wall. They're leaning on each other off turn number 4.
Yeah, Gable trying to battle back against the 55 of Scott Negus. Just behind them, Philip Martin is trying to hold off Austin Williams as he's going to finally get himself clear of that 85 machine. But just in front, they have not cleared each other just yet. They are still battling hard, and a little bit of contact there coming off of turn 2. And that is going to force Negus up the track, and that is going to force Gable as they're 3 wide into the corner. Gable's going to go around.
Adam Gable around Justin McDuff as well, and McDuff up and over. We've got a turtle situation in turn number 2. As the 20 of McDuff will have to call the pit or the tow truck, but Adam Gable went around. They were 3 wide there. Something had to give, and unfortunately it was the on-time number 91 who went around to cause a stack up. And let's take a look here. Is Gable not happy with Austin Williams? Williams taking a look down at the inside. Braden Campbell forces the issue there. They're 3 wide, and they just could not stay off of each other. In hard contact, Jeff Mathis comes in. Let's go on board with Justin McDuff. And that is all she wrote. As we come back to some live pictures here. At least we're thinking to do. We thank you all for turning into the Turn 3 Racing Network. Well, Kelly, that was the big one so far this evening.
Yeah, that caught a couple of drivers here and has taken them out. Jeff Mathis has pulled it behind the wall. Justin McDuff has called it a night as well. I think a few other drivers had to take a tow there, and it looked like Gable was just trying to let the car to the inside by, but he didn't realize that the cars behind him were already battling for position. They were already side by side, so kind of closed the door on them and left those two with nowhere to really go.
Yeah, nowhere really to go, and they were 3 wide. Campbell making that late charge down to the inside underneath Williams. That knocked Williams up into Gable, and then Gable obviously getting the short end of the stick along with Justin McDuff, who I believe has taken the 20 car behind pit wall. So we'll have a little bit of a cleanup here underneath this yellow flag.
Once again, Dante Curtis is going to be choosing the outside. This time, though, Guillaume has elected to stay behind Brian Hacker. So it's not a bad call, I don't think, because Dante Curtis has been kind of struggling on these restarts. He's been a little late on the throttle, and it may be the opportunity that Guillaume needs to get around that 3 car quickly, and then he can start applying the pressure to Connor and Hacker. However, on that last restart, Dylan Connor actually put down his fastest lap of the race, so it may not be a tire wear issue here tonight. It may be a tire heat issue, and when you've got these caution flags, you can allow them to cool off a little, especially when you're running on the inside here coming through the straightaways and on the outside on the corners where the track is just a little bit cooler.
Yeah, interesting to see here. On this restart, we thank Austin Designs for being the proud sponsor of the Choose Cone. So far, not too many penalties this season, or too many cones we've had to go through, as Coney has made it through a lot of races so far without getting hit. Green flag back in the right hand of Barney, where green flag is up, and we are underway once again here with just 36 laps to go.
Oh, big stack up into turn 1, and cars are all over the place. Looks like Dan Janjanin was stuck in the middle there, and somehow they all figure it out and they all stay pointing in the right direction. Now Brian Hacker is underneath Dante Curtis. He's going to get himself through, and this is the opportunity Guillaume is looking for. He's now to the inside of that 0-3 of Dante Curtis, and that's going to force Curtis to stay on the high side. Curtis going to look for the gap behind Guillaume going to try to get himself in line as Guillaume rockets off of turn 2. And Dante Curtis going to slot down in front of Scott Austin. Now Guillaume is going to have to chase down his championship rival. He's got the 2 of Brian Hacker in front of him.
Yeah, and right now, Brian Hacker running the fastest lap of the race last time by with an 19.83. Same with Dylan Connor. They ran the fastest lap of the race 1 lap ago. This next time by, Guillaume Fortin going to reset that. So Fortin on the press as he tries to chase down the top 2 cars. Right now, even gap there between those 3 cars, and a little bit more of a gap back to the 0-3 of Dante Curtis. Scott Austin working in front of Bergner. They're at the top of your screen as we watch the top 3 work here off of the turn number 2 and down the back stretch.
Yeah, but with only 27 laps to go, just about 26 here as they work through 3 and 4, there is not a lot of time left in this race, and each one of these cautions is taking a chunk of those laps away. So if drivers want to make their moves, they have to make them soon because they're not going to have much time as this race continues on. Brian Hacker closing up a little bit to Dylan Connor. Those last couple laps, he's basically taken out half a tenth each time, as Guillaume actually looks like he had a pretty decent run off of 4 there, but still that gap remains about the same.
Absolutely, the gap staying right there about 2/10. It's about 2/4 tenth of a second between those. Now Bergner with a look underneath Scott Austin. Scott Austin gives them the block up the racetrack. They both go. The 93 of McLeod back there, he's licking his chops, saying, all right, boys, you're going to knock each other around. I'll take those spots around. Negus and Dustin Shepard quickly back inside the top 10 after being relegated to the back of the field there after a yellow flag or 2 ago where he claimed it. And now he's going to take a look underneath Scott Negus here on the front stretch. Inside run for him. And he will move to the outside. Negus will. That's going to give Dustin Shepard the P8th position so far. As will he clear him this time off turn number 4? And I tell you, Shepard's car really scoots the center of the race corner and gets a great drive off. Now he's got sole possession. He'll set chase on the Renu Sealcoating 93 of Chad McLeod.
And looks like our top 3 is getting closer. Guillaume is now pretty much 2/10 off of Hacker, who himself is 2/10 away from Dylan Connor. So we have got just about 20 laps to go here. These guys have got to get going here if they want to challenge the 90 for the race lead, as Dylan Connor is just trying to focus on running consistent lap times. That time, Brian Hacker a little bit faster than these other 2, but we've seen throughout the night he has not been able to find an opportunity to make a move here, as we have had another car pull it behind the wall. Rob Donaldson is out of this race, and I believe Braden Campbell and Austin Williams are as well.
Here they are, and I tell you, it's the number 2 of Brian Hacker. He is pounding the back bumper of Dylan Connor. Says, all right, I need to go. Here comes Guillaume Ford, and he takes a look to the inside. Brian Hacker trying to diamond off the corner. Off the corner, number 2. They're side by side. Connor trying to block him in the turn number 1. Great battle for the race lead. Connor slams the door shut on Brian Hacker. 18 laps to go, and now here comes Guillaume Fortin. Fortin right to the back bumper of Hacker. This is what Connor would like to see, those 2 drivers battle it out here so he can kind of give himself a little bit of gap. Is this the gloves are off here with the final 20 laps.
Yeah, we cannot take our eyes off of these 3 drivers. Any of them can make a move at any moment, as we nearly saw Brian Hacker push Dylan Connor out of the way, but Connor was able to brake late and brake hard into the next corner, and that allowed him to hang on to the lead for now. But that gap is closing once again. Hacker is getting right up to the rear bumper of Connor. Still looking for his opportunity. He's got to make that move, because even if he doesn't want to go for the win, he's got to hold off Guillaume Fortin to maintain his points lead here, as that lead is getting slimmer and slimmer each time.
And Guillaume Fortin trying to go back to back here, and the only way to gain points is to finish in front of that number 2 car. Will the chrome horn come out? 15 laps to go. We've seen the bumper tap. Remember, though, Kelly, one thing to keep in mind, especially for some of these drivers that may have had contact earlier in the race, there is that incident limit here, 14 X's, and then once you've hit that, you're out of the race. So you got to really mind your P's and Q's. But the bumper could come into play here a little bit later, and Hacker really throws it in deep that time in the turn one.
Yeah, not only do you get immediately removed from the race once you hit that incident limit, you also get a EOL penalty to start the very next race that you start. So it is a bit of a twofold penalty, as these drivers are going to have to try to avoid that here tonight. There may have been a few that have already run afoul of that. We'll have to see with the penalty report after that comes out. It may be a long night for the league admins after this one, but still, laps are ticking away. Dylan Connor still holding off Brian Hacker. Hacker just looking for his opportunity, because I think if he gets into the bumper of Dylan Connor and doesn't get the move done there, it's going to leave him open to Guillaume Fortin. But at the same time, if he waits too long, Guillaume might try to make a move of his own.
Yeah, and Guillaume, knowing he's going to have to make up some ground here, trying to make something happen. And Guillaume getting a little bit loose up off the corner, Kelly. Got to be wondering, is he trying some stuff behind the wheel? Got to try something, right? I guess if you're sitting there back there in P number 3 trying to make something happen. This time by Barney the flagman, going to give him 2 high fives, 10 laps to go for Dylan Connor.
Yeah, Guillaume may just be trying some things, figuring out different ways through the corner that may give him an advantage when he's going to try to make a move here. As the Hacker once again going to give a little tap to Connor. Not going to be enough to move that 90 out of that bottom groove. He's going to have to make that tap either a little harder or maybe in a different spot. But it's going to have to, I think, come down to Hacker moving Connor for the race lead.
Yeah, right now, Brian Hacker doesn't necessarily need to win, but he would like to. Next week, a long race at Hickory. Going to have to, whoever wins here tonight will have to start tail there in our second showdown event of 2025. No one's probably thinking about that right now, as they're all just trying to win. And Connor really stacking up your top 3. And don't look now, Dante Curtis starting to close on them. It could be a 4-car battle here, as this time off of turn number 4. There'll be 7 laps to go.
Another shot from Hacker there off of turn 4, but all that really did was slow up his own drive off of the corner. Nearly gave an opportunity for Guillaume, as Guillaume now taking a look at a few different lines, trying to see if he can get a good run off the corner and get his nose to the inside of Hacker. Hacker once again right up to the bumper of the 90 car. He's going to move him up the track. He's going to give him a slide, and that's going to slow up Hacker and Connor. And now Guillaume is going to be the outside of Hacker. Hacker trying to hold that bottom side. Guillaume trying to see if he can make his fresher tires work on the high side. We've not seen a huge tire advantage between those that pit and those that did not, as Guillaume is going to have to slot down. Now he's going to try to diamond off the corner. Not quite going to have the space to really maximize it. He's going to have an opportunity, though, if Hacker doesn't slam the door shut. Hacker going to try to brake on the high side, but Guillaume going to get himself there, and Guillaume's going to get through. And Hacker is going to have to slot back into third, and now he's going to have to defend against Dante Curtis.
Yeah, now will Guillaume Fortin be able to make a move on the 90 car of Dylan Connor with 4 laps to go. Just 2 miles around the Martinsville Speedway remains in the Blue Ridge 125, presented by Mad Plowing. And I tell you, this has been a great race. Is someone going to have to do a little mad plowing up for themselves to see victory lane, to wrestle it from Dylan Connor? Dylan Connor starting to get a little bit more and more aggressive with those blocks. Guillaume Fortin right there to the back bumper.
Guillaume looks like he's faster off of the corner. He just hasn't been able to find the opportunity to make the move, and Hacker's now closing back up, so Guillaume's going to have to look for it. Guillaume's going to give a little bit of shot to Connor, going to move him up the track. Is that going to give the opportunity for 13 QC? 2 laps to go. He's not going to be able to get to the inside of Connor. Connor going to still hold on to the race lead as they come off of turn 2, but Guillaume's going to now get a good run off of 2. He's going to look to the inside. Still not going to be enough. He's going to dive for it. Contact, and that's going to send the 90 around.
90 going around, and no yellow flag.
Guillaume as well getting sent around.
But the yellow flag did not fly, Kelly. We are going to race this one to the green, to the checkered. Brian Hacker in the capper. So here comes Dante Curtis. Curtis throws it in deep. He'll work to the inside. Drag race off the front. They touch once. They touch twice. It's going to be Brian Hacker winning the Blue Ridge 125. Dante Curtis will come home second. Scott Austin third. Jeff Bergner with a great run fourth. And how about the rebound by Dustin Shepard, rounding out the top 5. And you really got a feel for both Guillaume Fortin and the 90 of Dylan Connor.
Yeah, both of those were fast cars, and that was just the a stereotypical finish to Martinsville, as you had drivers that were just battling hard for the position, trying to move the other out of the way, and unfortunately it was going to send our 2 leaders both around. But somehow the caution flag did not come out. That allowed Hacker and Curtis to really battle it out, and the margin of victory 0.051 for Brian Hacker over Dante Curtis.
And we'll have to check with league officials. That might be the closest, one of the closest finish, if not the closest finish here in NSRL history. And, well, these drivers take a moment, get unbuckled down there. We'll make our way down trackside. We're going to step away. You're watching the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll be right back with our ZooFab Garage post-race show.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back here to the Martinsville Speedway, where the Blue Ridge 125 presented by Mad Plowing has just come to an end, and we head trackside to our post-race show. We're going to start off with a man who picks up the win here tonight and will extend his points lead, Mr. Brian Hacker out of Huntley, Illinois. And Brian, man, what a great race. We saw you really applying the pressure to Dylan Connor, and then Guillaume got by you. What was going through your head at the moment that they got by you?
Honestly, I didn't think I was going to be able to get back up there. There were only like 3 laps left, so I got back to G's bumper, and I thought, he was quicker. G was quicker, and I thought, the only thing that may work in my favor is if I just kind of sit back here and wait for something to happen in front of me. And sure enough, that's what happened. And the yellow didn't come out. The white was already in the air, I guess. And the yellow didn't come out, and I really had nowhere to go but up and over the curb to try to keep it straight and not get caught up in that. And it was a melee, but that was a lot of fun at the end. Honestly, it sucks for Dylan and G. Those guys were putting on a hell of a battle. Dylan ran a great race, and for him not to come home with this one is got to be a bit heartbreaking for him.
He was running very defensive line there. We saw you try giving him the bumper a couple times in tasteful manner. How difficult is that to do here at Martinsville, where you might have just been a tick better, but he was just good enough to stay in front of you? How hard is it to keep your head on strapped into that helmet and not just taking this drive right through him?
Yeah, I mean, we're running for points ultimately, so the last thing I want to do is wreck both of us and have a bad finish. So I was gonna be okay if we finished second. We were better. I would mess up and dropped back a few car lengths, and we were able to make it up pretty quickly. And I felt like I was getting better drive off than he was, so we were better at the end. But it's hard to pass. It's hard to get the momentum to get underneath somebody on corner exit. So I thought, the only way for me to potentially be able to do that is if I loosen him up just enough in the corner that he can't get throttled down as quickly as we could. And we got it a couple times. We got to his bumper. We were there several laps, and I was just I was trying to kind of eye it up to see what I could do waiting for the last 5 laps. I was going to get a little bit more aggressive. I certainly wasn't going to try to take anybody out, but I thought maybe we could square. If we square the bumper up, it wasn't going to turn anybody, but it could potentially knock them a half a lane up the track, and that was going to be my plan. And then with like 5 to go there, I messed up and G got around me, and the rest was history. So we're happy to come away with the win. Pretty gutted for Dylan, man. He's been fast all season and just had terrible luck. So and G, we're right there in points, and we all go way back with G. So fun race, but yeah, that was pretty wild.
Well, I just wanted to point out here tonight that the white and blue car back in Victory Lane. I know it's not your most favorite paint scheme, but it's your winningest paint scheme this season.
Yeah, it might be. I think this is our 3rd win of the season. I think we've gotten 2 in this car, so maybe that means something.
Well, Brian, we know you got a lot of people to thank that works behind the scenes here to get this win done here at Martinsville, and we'll pack them on up and move on to Hickory in 1 week's time, and a little extra distance there for you at Hickory Motor Speedway to come from the back of the pack.
Yeah, looking forward to running Hickory. I've historically been pretty good there, and I don't think I even know why. I don't really have that track figured out, but it should be a good time.
Well, who makes it all possible on this 2-car to put you here in Victory Lane here tonight?
Scott Austin Designs, as always. Nice podium finish for Scott. Thanks to the guys on the car, Carbon Junction, Aberdeen Lodge, Boulder Beer Bar. Thanks to the guys at the league. A lot of good people here, doing a lot of good things, for my family and the people that helped supported us over the last few months. A lot of really good people here, and we had a memorial for my daughter at my house over the weekend, and a few of these guys even showed up and paid respects in person, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so big shout out to the league and everybody that does this, and you guys for putting this on. And if you haven't gotten a lap for the memorial at the end of the month, we're trying to fill that thing up so we can give 100% of whatever we raise that night to charity.
Well, we keep plugging it. We hope that people out there will think about it, contact the league, contact you, contact anybody here at the NSRL, even reach out to the Turns We Race Network. We get you in contact with the league, and really looking forward to that race and honoring your daughter, Brian, and wish we could have made it out there this weekend, but our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, and everyone here in the league thinks about you nonstop. And like you said, it's a big family here in the racing community, and it really becomes a lot of family here.
Yeah, it sure does. There's a lot of good people here.
All right, congratulations on your win, Brian. We'll talk to you hopefully next week from Hickory.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Brian Hacker going to pick up the win here tonight, Kelly. And I believe you caught up with a driver that, finishes second.
Yeah, caught up here now with Dante Curtis. And Dante, I gotta say, you are a man of your word. You tried to make that outside line work, and I think you even saw you make a couple passes out there throughout the night.
Yeah, it worked out there at the beginning. I kind of caught my shot there a little bit. I was thinking of you guys when I did it, but no, there towards the end, we kind of sucked, and then I thought we were screwed when we took tires there. I mean, we didn't take tires there, and anyway, it kind of worked out. I didn't believe we were going to be as good as we were there against those guys with new tires.
Well, as we've mentioned, you're only running a part-time schedule here this season, and it seems like you may have made a good choice here with Martinsville Speedway. Did you have fun tonight?
Yeah, I had fun. Kind of for that long run right there, I kind of got in no man's land, and I was kind of just out there on a Sunday drive, so that was kind of fun. You know, just didn't really have to work too hard, and just kind of sit up there and watch them guys race, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, here's your chance to win it. So we tried, but came up just a little short.
Yeah, you couldn't get much closer. It was half a tenth between yourself and Brian Hacker, but reaching the halfway point of the season, are you going to be able to come out if you're any more races in the second half?
Yeah, definitely want to run the showdown next week, racing for a trophy. Probably want to run the road course to settle the differences between me, Randy, and Dustin, see who can be fastest on a road course, and probably Oxford for Brian's race, and we'll see after that.
All right, well, a good stretch of races coming up for you. We're excited to see you there, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again. But before we let you go tonight, who would you like to thank for your second place run here tonight?
Oh yeah, just gotta thank you guys for a good broadcast every week. It's fun to watch you guys. Pretty good. It's really good quality. Thank all the guys back at the NSRL for giving us a good place to race. Dustin, Phil, Dan, all the guys back there at DCD Racing. Fun to hang out with. And hopefully we can come back next week and get a W.
All right, Dante, good luck to you. Hopefully we'll see you again in Hickory, and maybe we'll see you down here in the podium finishing spots again.
Hope so. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one.
All right, that is Dante Curtis coming up just short here against Brian Hacker, but it sounds like he'll be back for a few weeks in a row on his part-time schedule here, and maybe we'll be seeing him again throughout this next month. Al, I believe you're caught up with our last podium finisher here tonight, though.
Yeah, the last person we'll talk to here during the ZooFab Garage post-race show is our good friend Scott Austin. And Scott, you come home with a P3 here tonight. Got to look at that. It's a good points night overall here leaving Martinsville.
Yeah, again, back to the start of the season that we had. I kind of lucked into this one, but I'll take it. A good points night overall, and we'll just keep chugging forward.
We're looking at what is going, the rest of this season is we got the Hickory Motor Speedway next week with the showdown race. 200 laps there. Really the meat and potatoes of the season. We got short tracks, we got big tracks, we got our lone road course coming on up in the season. This season's really throwing a lot at you, race car drivers, through the first half. What really stands out to you as we leave Martinsville?
Really the consistency of the guys that run up front. All the different tracks that we go to, you still got the same guys are fast every week, which kind of just speaks to the level of talent that we have in the league. Like I say, same guys running up front, so it's cool to be a part of.
Yeah, your name always creeps up there. Sometimes the qualifying effort, and I was the same way back when I was a driver. Can't really qualify worth a darn at some of these racetracks, but when you get into the race here, you really start to move your way towards the front, and it's always good to see this 5-car really, really rolling. Looking at the back half of this season, what tracks really stand out? What tracks are you really looking forward to here as we wrap up the next 7 to 8 races?
Yeah, really next week, Hickory's a clean Hickory race is probably one of my favorite tracks to go to. Lanier is really great, 5 Flags of course, so I really enjoy it. The road course is going to be a crapshoot. Oxford is not my favorite, but the rest of them I'm pretty excited for.
We're looking forward to the rest of this season. Seeing what you can do is this is going to help you creep up those championship standings. Obviously, Brian taking the win, and a few of those drivers that were in front of you in points having issues leaving Martinsville. So really a good shot in the arm here, a good way to start the second half of the season, and we really look forward to seeing what you can do with your race team here as we look at this back half of the season. But Martinsville in the rearview mirror, a really tough racetrack. Well, not one of my favorite as a driver. You guys put on a great show. How'd you get up to third?
Basically same as last week. I mean, it kind of takes some of the stress off of us knowing that we're not really, in the points hunt right now. So just kind of taking it easy, biding our time, making sure the car stays clean, tires under it, and taking advantage of what's in front of us. And we were able to do that again tonight, and I think we'll do the same thing going forward.
Absolutely. You do a great job. We look forward to it. Who makes it all possible on this number 5 here to put you on the ZooFab Garage post-race show?
Yeah, everybody in our Discord channel, we all get along great. We all kind of shoot the shit during the race. Thanks to you guys for putting on a good show. I enjoy going back and watching it, NSRL and the admins. I really do enjoy Monday night racing here. Papa Austin, if he's still watching, I'm glad he does. It makes it a little more fun.
Well, congratulations. We thank you guys for bringing in the views as well, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying, mainly Kelly. We all know that you don't watch it for me, so it's all about Kelly.
Come on now, let's give yourself some credit. Thanks, you guys.
Scott Austin going to come home in P number 3 here tonight. Kelly Dahl and Kelly, a great race here and a great ZooFab Garage post-race show. And whether your street car or race car needs a little bit more of performance, or you have a project you want to do, reach on out to ZooFab Garage, located in Tennessee, and they can get you started in the right direction. And Dustin, I tell you, doing a great work out there. I've checked it out, keeping tabs on what he's got going on in the shop, and he does a masterful job. But we can't thank them enough for being part of our post-race show. With that being said, though, Kelly, we are going to wrap it up here from Martinsville. Just one thing left to do. We'll bring up the top, or your finishing order here. 13 cars finishing on the lead lap here this evening is what really was a great race from Martinsville. Final thoughts.
It was a fantastic race. Came down right to the wire as we lost 2 of our leaders, and then Dante Curtis nearly getting Brian Hacker right off of the last turn. But Brian Hacker ends up opening his points lead even more. We're going to have a bit more of a concrete idea of how the points stand after this week, as we're going to start factoring in the drop weeks. And I think this is going to be a week that both Randy Nichols and Guillaume are going to have to use to try to close up to Brian Hacker. But Hacker adding another win to his total here. But next week we go for one of our showdown races, a long race at Hickory, and then we switch things up with a road course at Okayama.
Yeah, really looking forward to that one. I getting out of the States there for a night and going to go road course racing the left and right hand turn. And we hope you guys tune on in for that one. It's going to be interesting to see what these short track cars will do. We know, Kelly, you will not be in action next week on the Turn 3 Racing Network, but we wish you the best of luck over the weekend in your national tournament that you are being a part of, and we wish you the best of luck with that. We'll miss you, but we know you're going to be out there, doing what you love and having a good time. So can't fault you for that. We might pick on you a little bit, but that's just normal.
Now then, I definitely have to win so I don't get picked on when I come back.
Absolutely. We wish you the best of luck, though. And we thank you all for tuning on into the Turn 3 Racing Network for tonight's showing the Renu Sealcoating Late Model Stock Series. And we thank Renu Sealcoating for being the title sponsor for this season. Mad Plowing out of Oregon, Wisconsin. RC2 Graphic Solutions. Your events, our designs. Wizards Designs. Austin's Designs, ZooFab Garage, and we also would like you to be a part of the Kendall Hacker Memorial happening in March 31st at the Oxford Plains Speedway. You can reach on out to the NSRL. They have a post on their Facebook page as well on how you can be a part of this race to raise money for charity and have a little fun with it as well. We thank you all for tuning on, and we look forward to seeing you all next week as we head to Hickory. But until then, my name is Upstate Al. This has been Kelly Dahl, and we'll see you in turn number 3. Good night, everybody.